Thank you, Gary Tintinger, our Sergeant at Arms and stand-in Master of Ceremonies. The Communication and Leadership Award is presented to honor and recognize a non-Toastmaster who has made a significant contribution in the field of communication and leadership within the geographic boundaries of Southern Africa, and on occasion beyond. This person is generally recognized by Toastmasters and the community as having made outstanding contributions and contributed to the benefit of the entire community within Southern Africa. This award has been presented by Toastmasters in Southern Africa since 1974, when it was presented to Dr. Anton Rupert. Since then, it has been presented to many others, politicians, leaders, TV personalities, including the late Johnny Clegg, Thuli Madonsela, Yusuf Abramji, Basitsana Kumala, Vuyo Mbuli, and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. This year, Toastmasters in Southern Africa are honored to present this award to Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Town, the fab academic on Twitter, making education fashionable. Students at UCT and beyond say that she is the most hands-on VC that they have ever had at UCT and seen, always available to assist students, oftentimes outside of the call of duty. Founder of the Adopt a Learner Foundation, which provides financial and educational support to students from townships and rural areas to help them acquire higher education qualifications. Earlier this year, launching the Gekhi Phakeng Scholarship, which assists students from disadvantaged backgrounds. A dynamic leader making a real difference. The fab academic, Professor Phakeng, we are honored to present this award to you this year. Please accept this award on behalf of all the communicators and leaders at Toastmasters in Southern Africa. I'd like to invite you to address Toastmasters in Southern Africa. Over to you, Professor Phakeng.
You're on
Professor, we can't hear you, Professor.
Muted. Thank you very much for the wonderful welcome. Good evening to District 74, and thank you for this honor. I'm especially proud to receive this award because it connects excellence in leadership with excellence in communication. These are important skills, especially in this year of dramatic change. Tonight, I thought I must share 3 things that I wish someone had taught me before I went into executive leadership at university. I learned these things through my journey. Of course, it would have been great to know about them before, but I appreciate the learnings and I want to share them with you because I learned them as I went on with the practice of leadership. Number 1, be authentic. All the successful leaders I've ever interacted with are authentic. Always show your real self to those you lead. When you are authentic, you do not have to remember who you are supposed to be like, because you do not have to act one way in private and the other way in public. You also don't have to hide your mistakes or your weaknesses out of fear of looking weak. You just have to be yourself. And that's power. Your authenticity is your power. It allows you to be and to serve in your being, which is, frankly speaking, one of the easiest things that you can do. When I became VC of UCT, I made a conscious decision that I'm going to continue being myself. When you become a vice-chancellor or you take office, a high office, you will find in the office history, tradition, just long established customs or beliefs that have been passed on from one generation to the other, one leader to the other. You'll find established ways of being, established ways of doing things. There will also be people who have been regulars in the office or aligned to the office, and some of them may feel aggrieved about losing power or losing direct line that they had to the office after you took office. But the truth of the matter is, you don't only find an office like that. You also have to think about what you bring to the office, and that's your authenticity. You bring your stature, you bring your value system, you bring your beliefs, you bring your name, you bring your reputation, you bring your experience and expertise, you bring your network, you bring who you are, your power in that office. So if you allow the office to change you from being who you are, you lose the strength and then the contribution that you can make to the office. No doubt, there have been people ahead of you that you have to learn from them, but you must never try to be them, and you must never compare yourself with them. Be who you are, because there is a good reason there is someone like you in this world, and there is a good reason why you've been appointed to this position. You are the only one on this planet who is you. So don't limit yourself. You're not an imitation. Don't try to be one. Number 2, become so skilled and so vigilant and so outstanding in what you do that your talent cannot be dismissed. Be so good at it, be so excellent that your talent cannot be dismissed. Look, leaders are always criticized, and they will always be criticized. Just make sure that you're never criticized for your work. Criticisms may come, and maybe one lone voice in the midst of that criticism will say, "Oh, but she knows her stuff." Being skilled at what you do will give you confidence. Without skill, confidence will waver. It's also a nice way to make sure that your colleagues and your employer miss you when you're not there. That only happens if you bring something of value to the team. Number 3 of the things that I wish someone had told me before I went into executive management: you are always on stage. You are always on stage. It doesn't matter, actually, it doesn't matter what level you are, what job you do, you are always on stage. And every time you're on stage, there are 2 auditoriums watching you. One is an auditorium of haters and detractors. The other is an auditorium of supporters and advocates, people who want you to succeed. And there are also people who are looking at you, who are following you. The auditorium of detractors is loud. At all times, it is loud because it's got only one agenda: to detract you from your path. Never forget that there's another auditorium of supporters and advocates who are clapping for you, who are rooting for you, who are hoping you keep going on. And never forget that there are many who are following. They don't even see these auditoriums. They are just stepping on where you stepped. If you give up, imagine what will happen to them. Note, the auditorium of detractors is not necessarily much bigger. It doesn't necessarily have a whole lot more people. It is just louder. And it may be possible that it's got powerful people, so it feels more overbearing. Remember that there is also an auditorium of advocates that also has powerful and a large number of people. It's just not noisy. And in these days of social media, when the auditorium of detractors speak, you might just think it's the whole world. It is never the whole world. So keep going. And hey, there may be times when you step wrong and the auditorium of detractors gets too excited. Don't lose it. Keep the focus. Remember that there's another auditorium. District 74, by honoring me with this award, you are also honoring the many people I have worked with, many who have mentored me, many who have who ran the race ahead of me, but also many who ran the race with me, and those who are running the race with me now, especially my team at UCT. They walk the journey with me, often with generosity, with their patience in particular, as well as they walk with me towards the goal of durable transformation that comes with building authenticity and respect into our communication. On their behalf, I thank you.
Professor Phakeng, thank you. So much of what you say resonates with me personally, and I know that the rest of the Toastmasters members across Southern Africa, we talk about authenticity often. We talk about using and allowing our skills and talent to talk for themselves. And our CEO, a man called Dan Rex, based in Denver, Colorado, says to us, as leaders, nothing is ever off the record. You are always on show. So thank you so much for those wise words. We have a physical trophy, which we will ship to our leaders in the Western Cape. Many of the members of the UCT Toastmasters Club are actually on the call today. And I do hope that they'll be able to engage with you and physically hand over the trophy to you. Thank you for being with us this evening, and thank you for accepting this award. Mamokgethi Phakeng.
Thank you very much. Thank you.